Okay, guys, welcome to Clash Holes War Recap against the clan named Virus. As you can see on the screen, we won 28 to 25, and by about 5%, not about, exactly 5% total destruction. The war was actually a lot closer than what the score dictates. It was tied up until just a couple of attacks ago, and we had a couple of really nice closeout attacks, which really put the pressure on Virus. So they had to try a little bit extra hard and make something happen right there at the end. And it just didn't work out for them. So, it kind of made the score seem a little bit more lopsided than it was. But, they put out a good war, and so did we. So, good job to everyone. I'll show you guys what our bases looked like. They 3-starred everything down low, of course, and then 2 of our Town Hall 9s got 2'd, and then Fluffy with 2 monster defenses, so good for him. Oh, I'm hoping my sound is coming out all right. I started to get a little feedback there. We'll see. If it comes out like shit, then maybe we'll just do this again. Anyways, so let's look at their bases, and we 3-starred all of their low stuff, and then we ended up with just a 2 on one of their Town Hall 9s, a high 84%. It very well could have gone for a 3-star, and then a 60% on their number 1 by Fluffy, which was very strong. But let's start down lower, and we'll start with Little Lumber, which is my account. And doing just a mass hog account, or sorry, attack, versus Gaviota? Gaviota. Alright, so I just pull out the clan castle with a single hog. This is a cleanup attack, by the way. So I knew where one of the great bombs were, and then using that information, and where all the Teslas were. So using that information, I made a pretty educated guess as to where all the great bombs were. And for the most part, I was right. So I pulled out the clan castle with the 1 hog, dropped the poison, and then after that, just used a couple of wizards and barbs. I used 5 wizards, which is probably too much. I really should do more like what Brent does and just drop the 2 and just be better about the barbs. But I knew I was going to drop the king, and I wanted to use them as cleanup, and I was dropping in the hogs in parallel with them, so I thought that they would be more available for cleanup, just dropping them all in like that. Still saved 3 in the bag for end of war cleanup, and because I had triggered that first great bomb, and I had a pretty good idea of where the rest were, I pretty much just Asian walled the hogs in. They split into groups, which is fine. That's kind of what I wanted. Dropped the 2 heal spells, and then had the 3rd available for when they all grouped back up, but ended up not needing it. I did drop the poison on the king just to slow it down, and I think there was a couple of skeletons in there too. I really didn't need that either, but I figured every little bit helps. And at this point, it's just cleanup. Dropped a backside wizard, kept a couple in the bag, just because I'm cheap, and saved my heal instead of swagging it because didn't really need to. So that was my first attack, and picked up a nice easy 3-star there. So let's move on up to number 5. 5 is Neb, and we've been seeing a lot of Neb recently. Good for Neb. Anyways, he smashes this Town Hall 9. You can see he pulls out the clan castle with his single hog. It looks like he has a Go-Ho cleaned up here, or cooked up here is what I meant to say. Does the poison on the giant, pretty standard, or the giant, on the dragon, pretty standard here now, just to, poison all the clan castles. Does the double, and starts his kill squad variety of the attack, and he just drops in that 1 golem and lets them clean out that area, take down the queen, and then uses the 2nd golem, like almost completely separately, who's really basically just tanking for these hogs at this point. He almost had 2 separate kill squads in this attack, which is kind of unusual, and it worked out really well in this case. He's got his king who went for a walk, which ends up working out because he cleans up a lot of trash around the outside, and and the hogs are more than capable of cleaning up everything inside this base. He still has a few of them under heal. They're still split up. Once that Tesla goes down, then they're all going to group back up and go after those last 2-point defenses. And kind of conveniently, that king starts drawing fire from that tank, or that cannon. The hogs do take a pretty big hit from that great bomb, but since they were recently in a heal, it just wasn't enough to take them down. So he has plenty of hogs for cleanup. He dropped his queen to take down that king, which is just mindlessly beating on the golem. And then the queen steps up, starts taking down that town hall, which is nice because it's got so many hit points. You know, it takes a little while. And honestly, with this new extra 30 seconds that they gave us, you're almost never worried about time on a Town Hall 8 attack, or sorry, a Town Hall 9 attack, or Town Hall 8 too for that matter. But anyways, good job to Neb smashing that Town Hall 9, and let's move on up to the next one. This is Brent. We've seen Brent 2 a couple of times. This is Brent Prime, I guess. So he has a Go-Ho cooked up here, similar to Neb's. Sends in a couple of hogs right behind a giant with the intent of taking out those 2 defenses, getting the clan castle pull, and pre-triggering that bomb. So although he used, obviously, more than your typical 1 troop for drawing the clan castle, he does get a lot of value because he takes down 2 defenses and a great bomb. Does the double poison, takes down that clan castle without any problem, and then he starts his Go-Ho from the right-hand side. Sends in the 2 golems, backs him up with whizzes, all very standard. Drops that king nice and late to make sure that those golems are doing the tanking instead of, risking your king too much. The queen goes down super fast. Jump spell is very well placed, so it opens up all the way to the core. And that's big because now you're sending in your hogs from the right-hand side. It does the same thing, the left-hand side, does the same thing, thinking that there might be a great bomb on that left-hand side, but there isn't. It doesn't matter. Cleans it out, drops all his hogs. He still has his golem and his king in the middle, and they're doing a lot of tanking for these hogs. So his hogs really didn't take any damage until they were getting in range of that Tesla. Drops his first heal, and honestly, it was probably a little bit early, but he's got 2 left in the bag. So, I mean, you can be early when you have so many heals left over. So he drops that second heal. His queen's up there still doing cleanup. His hogs are still going nuts. He still has a heal in the bag. He's got a couple of cleanup troops already spread around the outside. The defending king is sitting there beating on a golem. So, I mean, that's not giving him any problems at all. As soon as it gets over, these hogs are going to turn on him and end up taking him down. And from here, it's just cleanup. It's not much left to happen. So, he still has the swag heal. And he could have used that if he really wanted to save. I mean, he lost a couple of hogs that he could have saved, but I mean, it just doesn't matter. And the swag right in the middle. Good for him. 3-star. Good work, Brent. All right. Here we will watch. This is one of the very last attacks. It was all tied up. The enemy team had a couple of attacks remaining. We only had 2 attacks remaining, and this was the second to the last attack. And it was our number 1, Fluffy, coming down and taking their number 2. And this is really what swung the war, is this attack right here. It put a lot of pressure on them, and it forced them to go really high. What you can see here is he has a queen walk cooked up. So he drops his healers and his queen, and then he drops those 2 wizards to make sure that the queen has to walk left. Does not want her to go north, wants her to clean out all this trash down here and a lot of these buildings. Drops his golems up top and his wall breakers to get him inside, his earthquakes to get all the way to the core, has his wizards for his funnel. He kind of missed putting wizards a little bit to the right, ends up working out okay. but could have had some of his troops wander off a little bit. They actually start to for a minute, but once that goes down, they redirect back. A few of them get stuck looking at that cannon, but that's okay. Meanwhile, the Lava Hound in the clan castle is just sitting there beating on a golem. Doesn't even matter. It's like it's not even there. It doesn't do any damage at all. It does tie up the wizards a little bit, but meanwhile, you got Larry's running all over the place. You got the Barb King, who just got into the core. He's about to take down that town hall. Those Expos are going down. They're being tanked for. You have the Archer Queen still doing her walk. He placed a rage on her before he got to the king, so that was good. That way you don't have to worry about her getting hurt. You got all these troops. I mean, right now this attack is looking great. You have so many troops, and there's really not a whole lot of... as the queen walks around, she's just taking down defense after defense. Once these guys beat through this wall, this is going to go real quick. Drops that last rage, and oh, crap. Great bombs. Great bombs took out almost that entire kill squad that was left. King's gone, Wizard's gone, Witch is gone, everything. So he's got 2 archers left in the bag, which he really can't put anywhere or they'll die. He's got his queen with a couple of healers left. He started with 4. I don't know how many are left. I want to say at least 3, maybe all 4. And he's got not a whole lot of time left. So it's really, Queen walks are powerful. And at this point, you're just hoping it can get all the way through. So, things are still looking pretty good. That air defense starts engaging those healers, which is kind of trouble. So he decides to go ahead and use the cloak, even though the queen's not getting hurt, to try to take down that air defense as quickly as possible. And that was really smart, because now the queen has, really there's not much left in. You're never going to get hit by more than 1 point defense at a time. Those healers are going to be more than enough to keep up. And as soon as that archer tower starts hitting on that queen, he feels free to drop the archer on that far left side just to help with the cleanup process a little bit, because now it's all about time. The queen steps up, starts taking out defense after defense, and it's cleanup from here. It was really tight. It was kind of clutch, and he gets the job done. So that's really important. This 3-star is really what swung the war for us, gave us a 2-star advantage, and then they had to step up from there, and they just couldn't get it done. So this was a great attack by Fluff. And then our last attack that you saw, that was by Brent, that was actually our very last attack, just to put it over the top, to make sure there was no way they could possibly catch up. And then I'll also show Fluffy's first attack against Town Hall 10. The intent of this was obviously a 2-star. In general, we go for a 2-star on our Town Hall 10s first, and then if we have a chance later to try to 3-star a Town Hall 10, we will. But you got to lock up those 2-stars first. So here, it's just a standard go wee wee attack. Drops in his 2 golems on that side right there. Wizards behind to make a nice, good, strong funnel. And then he's going to quake this compartment with the multi-inferno in it. And that'll let his troops all walk up and take that queen, get your king in there, get your heroes in there. And you have direct access to that town hall, and then after that, all you need is percentage. You can see that these quakes actually were placed just a little bit too far near the town hall. This bottom wall where the king is right now, it doesn't matter. Troops all step up under rage, beat through that wall real quick, take out the queen, take out the inferno. The hound comes out, but it's worthless. He puts a nicely timed freeze on that single inferno to make sure his king doesn't get targeted by that single inferno. That single inferno is going to spend all day trying to fight Larry's, so that's fine. It's basically worthless at this point because he used witches instead of some other, instead of bringing extra golems or something like that. So you can see here he's already at 47%. His queen actually decided to take a walk, but it worked out because it ended up helping him get extra percent. He's got a handful of archers to clean up. There's a handful of buildings that are free. He can just drop them and just let them snipe them off. So let's just fast forward past that because it takes forever, and he's just sniping buildings, but ends up with a very, very solid 60% 2-star against their number 1, which is really important, especially when a lot of these matches are coming down to percent destruction now. So good work, Fluffy. and we ended up with a nice win here, guys. And keep up the good work, everyone.